you have fought now Ebola and some other unpredictable diseases. But thank God, because we have an intellectual of your nature, we pray to the Almighty, He will handle them. So, for us people of this area, we are privileged to host such a wonderful occasion. And we want to thank you and even send you to the President that the people of Mbale have really thanked us as leaders to have fought these diseases which could have claimed so many lives of Ugandans. We are very grateful. We don't have many words, Madam, to use, but you are most welcome to Mbale. And thank you for respecting and honoring Mbale to champion this wonderful occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. What is your name?
My name is Muzei Safi Wakaete Mafari, retired inspector of schools, but not retired, but required.
Here in Mbale and Uganda as a whole. Following your declaration of Ebola Sudan virus in Uganda on 30th of January 2025, the country went under panic, most especially in Mbale where we had the incident case. I am sincerely thankful to you that you sent the rapid response team, which was swift in nature, under the able leadership of Dr. Chove, who indeed guided technically, and we formed the task forces of Mbale City and Mbale District as a joint. Dr. Kajirita worked tirelessly, wonderfully, and selflessly beyond reasonable doubt, and that is why, and that is how we were able to manage the epidemic in Mbale City. Honorable Minister, the task force was chaired by the RCC Mbale City and it was co-chaired by the RDC of Mbale District. May I ask that our task force stands up for recognition and wave to our people for the wonderful work that you did towards this response. Honorable Minister, that is the wonderful team under which we formed a number of pillars that we worked upon to ensure that the Ebola response in Mbale was a success. We formed pillars. Our strength was anchored on pillars, and these pillars included the coordination pillar, surveillance pillar, case management, laboratory services, infection prevention and control, risk communication and community engagement, WASH and security. All of these pillars were under a wonderful task force that has just waved to you. Honorable Minister, we had 131 individuals who were traced, and I want to thank the surveillance team under the EOC for the wonderful work they did on tracking and tracing the cases up to the dot. That is how we managed to come up with a 99% of the follow-up rate, and hence we managed to control the epidemic here in Mbale. 131 contacts that were quarantined, Honorable Minister, were under strict supervision and monitoring by our health teams, and therefore they completed the 21 days without further symptoms of Ebola, and they were declared free of Ebola virus. Honorable Minister, the community was engaged comprehensively. We had audio towers, we had door-to-door visits, we had radio broadcasts, distribution of IEC materials, and these included all the stakeholders within Bali. We had the politicians on board, we had the cultural leaders on board, we had security, and we had institutions of learning on board, since some of the quarantine centers were in these institutions. Honorable Minister, I want to therefore say, together we have achieved, together with your able leadership, you have exhibited to this country that His Excellency the President appointed you on merit, and therefore our health system is having your strength. That is why we are able to have these difficult diseases, difficult viruses being managed with ease, even when we had the most limited resources that has ever happened here in Uganda. Honorable Minister, with those few remarks, there were also challenges that we observed during the response. Addressing persistent community misinformation. This involved the misconception of the virus, and it became very difficult. Had we not had a team that was committed, we would have not penetrated. Information reached everywhere. If I may recall, there was a time when we had the case in Kasanja. This case was suffering from ulcers. Yes. So the person vomited blood and eventually fell down. The whole community rushed to us and said, no, Ebola has reached us. But previously we had issues of misconception, we had issues of myth, and it was really difficult for us to tell our people that Ebola has come here in Uganda, knowing very well of our tradition. The initial response phase, we had issues of the lack of IEC materials, which came in later on, and it adversely impacted on the RCCE efforts. We had logistical challenges, insufficient vehicles, delayed partner support, especially during the active case surge. Significant gaps existed in health facility infrastructure and data management systems, which delayed the surveillance. But above all, we were able to sit, we were able to work, and we were able to manage the Ebola virus in Bali. And here today, we are celebrating the declaration of end of Ebola in Uganda. I want to thank all the stakeholders. I want to thank you personally, Honorable Minister, and everybody who worked towards these efforts, that if the country does not recognize you, if the community doesn't recognize our efforts, we shall get rewards from the Almighty God who saw our efforts when we worked tirelessly. Honorable Minister, this team worked without water to some level. It worked without even a meal. But I remember the word that Madame PS told us. She said, go and work. Do it as in a normal way you have been working. Eat the way you have been eating, but ensure that the Ebola virus is out of Mbale. And the team exhibited the highest level of patriotism that I have ever seen in this country. Bravo to the team, bravo to the Ministry of Health, bravo to the partners, bravo to Mbale District Local Government and Mbale City as a whole. I welcome you. The security situation, Honorable Minister, is calm. I want to assure you that we are in charge and feel at ease as we have this declaration today. I say all this for God and my country.
And I have a very brief remark that the President asked me to say before I read this statement. He said this outbreak could have been controlled much earlier if only you people could listen. If you could listen and do what the health workers tell you to do and avoid unnecessary movements, this outbreak would not have spread to the districts where it spread. So once again is appealing to you, once an outbreak is announced, please do not move, stay put at all times and wait until the health workers guide you on what to do. Number 2, use the health systems and avoid, thank you, I don't need an umbrella. Avoid going to the witch doctors and the traditional healers, especially when the disease itself is very clear and it requires a hospital, because you spread infection where it should not go. I hope you have heard his message loud and clear. Now allow me to recognize special people in our midst. Allow me to start with the team from Fort Portal. If you are here, we want to appreciate you for a job well done. Wakiso, do we have Wakiso here? Wakiso is not here. Do we have Mbale? In all your glory, we thank you for hosting us. Everyone from Mbale, you can stand up and we appreciate you. Ginger, do we have in Ginger team? Ntoroko, Chegegwa, okay, the UPDF. The UPDF are very special people in our midst. Please appreciate them. Uganda Police, appreciate them. Now, our partners, all implementing partners, not the donors, the implementing partners. If you are here, please let us appreciate you. Those under the US government and others, appreciate them. I can see Uganda Health Activity, Baylor Uganda, and many others, Uganda Red Cross, IDI. If I haven't mentioned your name, it means my eyes can't see you very well, but I have seen you, and we appreciate you. Africa CDC, please appreciate them. Thank you very much for the support always. Now let me go to our donors. Let's appreciate the US government. Please stand up and we appreciate you. And then let us appreciate the UN family. You are very many, WHO, UNICEF, there was World Food Program, UN, you are very many. Thank you for coming. Lastly, the most important group are we, the Wananchi. If you know you are a Wananchi, even if you are under a partner but you are a Wananchi, you stand up and appreciate yourself. Including me, I'm also a Wananchi. So those who have not stood up think they are not Ugandans, Okay, wherever you come from, but we do appreciate you. Okay, I will mention the partners that I could not see: Oxfam, AMREF, IOM, Affinet, the Lutheran World Foundation, URC, all of you I recognize. So I'll now go to the statement. And as I said, I am delegated. So the statement begins: fellow Ugandans, today, April 26, 2025, marks 87 days since the Sudan Ebola virus disease outbreak was declared in Uganda on January the 30th, 2025. The outbreak was first confirmed following laboratory testing of samples obtained from a 32-year-old male nurse who passed away at Mulago National Referral Hospital. The case had been managed at several facilities, including Mulago in Kampala, Matuga, that's in Wakiso, Mbale Regional Referral Hospital in Mbale City, and by a traditional healer. This is Uganda's 8th Ebola outbreak, a reminder of our nation's resilience in the face of recurrent epidemics. This current outbreak has highlighted Uganda's increasing capacity to respond to health emergencies, a result of sustained investment in surveillance, response infrastructure, and multi-sectoral coordination. This outbreak registered a total of 14 cumulative cases, 12 confirmed and 2 probable. Sadly, 2 of the confirmed cases passed away, resulting in a case fatality rate of 28.6%. On a positive note, 10 patients recovered. They were identified from the quarantined contacts following timely and appropriate care. The outbreak spread across 7 districts and 3 cities. These are Kampala, Mbale, both the district and the city, Wakiso, Jinja, district and city, Ntoroko, Fort Portal, and Chegegwa. Transmission was primarily through family clusters, through care for sick relatives. The initial detection of the outbreak was made through a passive mortality surveillance system. The interventions undertaken to respond to the outbreak. Number 1 was rapid case detection and isolation. A robust surveillance system was activated to ensure early identification and immediate isolation of suspected and confirmed Ebola cases. This rapid response was key in breaking chains of transmission and limiting further spread within communities. Number 2 was enhanced contact tracing and monitoring. Intensive efforts were made to identify and monitor individuals who had been in contact with confirmed cases. Out of 534 identified contacts, 85.2% were successfully quarantined in various parts of the country, including Kampala, Mbale, Fort Portal, and Jinja. This measure significantly reduced the risk of secondary infections. Number 3, intensified community engagement and risk communication. Community involvement was prioritized through targeted risk communication strategies. Local leaders, health workers, and media were mobilized to disseminate accurate information, address public concerns, and promote preventive behaviors. Number 4, strengthen infection prevention measures. Leveraging ongoing epidemic and pandemic preparedness initiatives, infection prevention measures were scaled up across all health facilities. This proactive approach proved effective. While there were healthcare worker infections in a single private facility, no public health facility recorded any Ebola cases. 5. Cross-border surveillance and collaboration. In adherence to the international health regulations, the ministry instituted exit screening at all points of entry to prevent cross-border transmission. This strategy was supported by close collaboration with neighboring countries and international health bodies to enhance regional preparedness and response. Number 6, support from local and international partners. The national response was greatly bolstered by coordinated support from local stakeholders and international partners. Their contributions in technical expertise, resources, logistics, and community mobilization were instrumental in achieving rapid containment. The way forward. As we mark this important milestone in overcoming the current Ebola outbreak, the Ministry of Health remains committed to supporting Ebola survivors through continuous monitoring and reintegration into their communities. Recovery goes beyond survival. It includes restoring dignity, health, and community acceptance. This outbreak, like many before it, has offered valuable lessons, which we continue to learn and adapt. By combining tried and tested response mechanisms learned over the years, we mounted a coordinated and effective response. Our goal throughout was to protect lives, treat the infected, and minimize disruption to the daily lives of Ugandans. That we were able to maintain a sense of normalcy for most of the population is a testament to the resilience of our systems, the dedication of our health workers, and the cooperation of the public. Notably, this outbreak was first detected in an urban setting, a scenario that posed unique and serious challenges. The risk of rapid, widespread transmission was very real. I commend the technical teams within the ministry and our valued partners for their swift and effective response, which successfully averted the exponential spread. I urge the population to remain vigilant and implement the standard operating procedures and report any person in the community that presents with Ebola-like symptoms. And these include sudden onset of fever, headache, weakness, joint pains, vomiting, bloody diarrhea or urine, bleeding from any body openings, to the nearest health facility or call the Ministry of Health toll-free number on 0800 100 066. Acknowledgements. This victory belongs to all of us. However, allow me to specifically appreciate the following. And again, I apologize if I don't mention you. Know that I appreciate you. Let me start with the Director General and his entire team. Please, let's appreciate him. You can step forward, Director General, Director Public Health, and also forward is the Incident Commander, the National Incident Commander. Please step forward. With all the pillar leads, please step forward. The media, be patient, I'm about to declare. But these are very important people. They will introduce themselves and the pillars that they lead. So DG, you introduce yourselves. Maybe before you introduce yourself, let the Incident Commander introduce his pillar leads after you have introduced yourself. So.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Minister. I'll do this. Dr. Charles Solaro. I'm the Acting Director General of Health Services in the Ministry of Health.
I'm Dr. Daniel Chabainze, Director of Public Health.
Honorable Minister, Colonel Dr. Henry Chowe Bosa, the pillar leads, Dr. Susan Nabada, you step forward, pillar lead laboratory, Dr. Richard Mugahi, sub-pillar lead quarantine in surveillance and representing the pillar lead surveillance, Michael Baganizi, doctor, pillar lead vaccination, Dr. Ronnie Bahatungile, pillar lead case management, Dr. Richard Kavanda, pillar lead risk communication, Dr. Wile, sub-pillar lead surveillance, Dr. George Dugumu Upento, committee engagement, Omukuka. Yes, sir. And then Dr. Son of the Soil, Dr. John Baptist Wanyai, Emergency Medical Services, and my colleague, the PRO, Dr. Emma Ainebiona.
Thank you very much, IC. Please take your seats. So all our partners work under these pillars, and allow me to thank all the implementing partners in a special way for working very closely and supporting the different pillars. Next is the local leadership in all the 7 districts, including the area MPs, RDCs, LC5 council executives, and the other lower level councils. Please, let's appreciate them. Next is our healthcare workers. Many of them may not be here, but if you are a healthcare worker, you can stand up to represent your fellow healthcare workers. And let's give them a very, very special appreciation to the healthcare workers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the work you do. Thank you for the selfless, tireless efforts, dedication, and commitment to save lives and end this outbreak. Please carry our special appreciation to those who could not come, especially those that we quarantined for 21 days. And tell them that we do love them. We quarantined them because we love them. Special appreciation to all partners, both local and international, who have played a pivotal role. who played a pivotal role both technically and financially in this fight to control Ebola, among other epidemics, and ensure the safety of Ugandans. Please appreciate the partners. 8 outbreaks, and they have never left us. 8 Ebola outbreaks, many others, but specifically Ebola, 8. There is a special group. If they can stand up, we shall appreciate the survivors who came here today. Can we see you? Can you wave? The survivors, where are they? The survivors are over there. Thank you very much for coming. Last but most important is the population of Uganda. The biggest and most important stakeholders in the response, the ones to whom the President sent his message earlier on. Thank you for your sacrifice, your patience, your commitment to ending the outbreak. We continue to urge you to listen when we talk. Many times people think the Ministry of Health is looking for money. But when you hear people dying, it is not about money. It is about saving lives. Now we'll go to the end of the Sudan Ebola Outbreak Declaration. Having completed 2 full incubation cycles, that is 42 days, since the last confirmed case was discharged on March 14th, 2025, and having recorded no new cases amidst sustained surveillance efforts, I now officially declare the current Sudan Ebola virus disease outbreak in Uganda to be over. Uganda is now free of active Ebola transmission for God and my country.
Yes, I stand in front of you as RDAI of WHO, but the work you have done, I have been privileged to do it at all levels, from surveillance officer. I think I met Henry first during the West Africa Ebola outbreak. So it's a real privilege to come and engage with all the health workers here. My first Ebola outbreak was in a small town called Yambio in South Sudan, just off the northern border of Uganda, 20 years ago. And we can feel the difference in the response today from where we were in those days, where we were completely dependent on others. And seeing the response in an African country, Uganda leading, is really warms the heart. So, Honorable Minister, I really thank you to you and your team for demonstrating the leadership that we so much desire on our continent. Thank you. I know we have many of our friends, colleagues from other UN agencies, all our partners, Africa CDC, of course, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of the United States, valued partners and guests. Greeting from Dr. Tedros, but you will hear from him himself. But it really is with great pride, relief and gratitude that I stand here to address you and celebrate today's official declaration of the end of the 8th Sudan virus disease outbreak in Uganda. This is not just the end of a difficult chapter, but really a wonderful demonstration of what determined leadership, strong systems, and collective action can accomplish on the continent. Uganda has once again shown the region and the world that what it means to act fast, act smart, and act together in the face of public health threats. Declared on the 30th of January 2025, this outbreak challenged us in new ways and in new circumstances. It touched both urban and rural communities across this beautiful country. It also unfolded against the backdrop of significant global funding constraints to the country, to the rest of us that support normally. And yet here we are, 42 days after the discharge of the last confirmed case with no new infections. This is really thanks to the tireless efforts of all the colleagues that worked in all the aspects of surveillance, case finding, the labs, managing cases, risk communication, and all the aspects of the response that we understand. Yes, sadly we lost 4 cases, 2 probable, 2 confirmed, and we mourn and honor them, honor their memory, and it's in their memory that we have to learn more from this response and to keep improving our capabilities and pushing down the case fatality ratio. A few years ago, it would be improbable to imagine a case fatality ratio of 28%. But yes, despite mourning our friends and family that we've lost, we are really in a stronger place than we've ever been. And this is really thanks to your swift action in Uganda. And now is a moment. It's a moment for the continent to learn from ourselves, to learn from our own efforts, to learn from each other. And really that's what WHO stands for. Within 72 hours of confirmation of the first case, the rapid teams hit the ground, contacts were being traced, treatment units were established, communities were engaged, partners were mobilized. And this is really a demonstration of leadership that has been developed over the years. At WHO, we're very proud to have supported this from the very beginning and stood with Uganda every step of the way, as we always do, demonstrating an ongoing value of solidarity and of community, for which we are known. That's our strength on the continent. Within 12 hours of the outbreak declaration in WHO, we activated our incident management systems. And within 24 hours, Dr. Mike Ryan, the Deputy Director General of WHO, was in Uganda himself to stand in solidarity with Uganda's leadership and to help coordinate strategic efforts and resource mobilization and all aspects of the response. Over 100 of our staff in the Uganda office were repurposed, and altogether we had 29 colleagues seconded to support and stand side by side with our colleagues in Uganda. Very often in the past and in many other countries, you see WHO standing in front. Historically, that has changed. We always stand beside you and make sure that you are in front. We put the country first, and to be honest, there's no reason why Uganda should not be standing in front. So with all these efforts, we're together here, and thanks to all our support from our partners, DG ECHO, Germany, Norway, Ireland, Canada, France, New Zealand, and many more who with us stood with Uganda. And thank you. It's with their support that we're here together today to mark the end of this outbreak. But like the Honorable Minister has always reminded us, and often reminded us, Uganda has never exported an Ebola case out of the country. And this proud record still stands strong today. So the real heroes of this response, as I conclude, as I started, are the health workers on the ground. So thank you. You braved risks, you treated patients with compassion, you worked around the clock to bring this outbreak under control. In the labs, you tested samples, including the Uganda Virus Research Institute, an institute that we hold very proudly on our continent, and the Central Public Health Labs, processing over 1,500 samples with speed and precision. So thank you very much. But it's not just in the lab. Very often we think about Ebola, we focus on the labs. But it's also the anthropologists, the communication teams that worked very hard to build trust in our communities. Trust is at the heart of every response. Either we learn it the hard way or we learn it the easier way by learning from the beginning. So it's very crucial that ultimately, as we all know, Outbreaks start and end in the communities, so our work in the communities are more important than ever. So it's really heartwarming for me to be in Uganda with you today, Honorable Minister, to mark the end of this outbreak. And as we reflect on this achievement, we must be honest also about some of the challenges that we faced. These included cases being detected outside of the contact list. Yes, we're happy we found them, but we really want to tighten our response, so there are a few things we need to learn. There are reminders, these are all reminders that there's still some work to be done, and we look forward to sitting with you in the after action review to review some of these and make sure that we learn so that we make Uganda, and Uganda becomes even stronger than it already is. So I'll conclude with 3 powerful lessons from this response, and these should be obvious to all of us. Firstly, that preparedness saves lives. And when we talk about preparedness, it's sometimes hard to articulate, but it's all those things that we do from today. What we did during the outbreak almost comes naturally because there's adrenaline, there's resource, there's risk. But the harder bit is what we will do from today moving forward. Because what we have learned collectively is that these small viruses are more, I wouldn't say intelligent because it will be contradictory, but they are significant foes to us. So we have to learn and work every day in between the response. But secondly, once we do find a case, a rapid response is very important, and once we can contain the first few cases, we have a chance of limiting the outbreak and not having a large one. Some people say large outbreaks are in a way inevitable, but large outbreaks are completely within our control to master. But finally, and maybe most importantly, is the role of solidarity. Solidarity between organizations, between communities, between governments, between countries. The work we do can only be possible. There's no other way other than in global solidarity. So any examples of countries doing this on their own or communities doing this on their own is simply not sustainable. We learn from each other. The science that we learn from Uganda, we use it somewhere else. The lessons we learn somewhere else, we use it in Uganda. And the role of organizations like WHO is to make sure that this global community keeps working together, that we don't lose faith, that our future is mutually dependent on each other. And the fact that an organization like WHO exists is in recognition that each country, especially in this space, needs each other to survive, needs each other to learn lessons, needs each other to grow. And so, as a member state organization, our role is to continue to remind ourselves of this in support of each member state, but with the resources support its development from all member states. So today we celebrate, and every day we will celebrate to the world. This is a reminder that with leadership, community, collaboration, and solidarity, we can overcome any health threat. So thank you very much.
I welcome Minister Jane's announcement today that the recent outbreak of Ebola disease in Uganda is over. And congratulations. And I thank and congratulate the Ministry of Health for its leadership and commitment, and the many health workers who protected their communities despite the risks. When the first case was confirmed, WHO deployed experts within 24 hours to support the ministry in all aspects of the response. We mobilized 129 local and international staff, coordinated partners, helped to scale up laboratory capacity, provided essential supplies, and supported community engagement. The outbreak is over, but the threat remains. WHO remains committed to strengthening surveillance, readiness, and rapid response systems in Uganda and across the region. Once again, my congratulations to all of you. Together, we have shown that with speed, coordination, and support under the leadership of the government, we can stop outbreaks in their tracks. I thank you.
of the district leadership of Mbale in particular, the country representative for WHO, the regional director as well, all of the team from our UN agencies, UNICEF, etc., our Africa CDC colleagues, the implementing partners, all of the healthcare workers present, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is an honor to join you today for the celebration and declaration of the end of the 2025 Ebola outbreak here in Uganda. The United States is proud to have helped the Ministry of Health with this very important achievement in making Uganda and the world safer. While in the last few months have been intense and exhausting work to reach this day, we can all now look back with pride and with relief. Today marks a significant milestone in global health. First, a testament to the dedication and resilience of the Ugandan people, your ministry, your healthcare workers, and communities across this beautiful country. And it is a testament to the power of strategic partnerships in combating public health emergencies that affect everyone. The United States government is proud of our partnership with the Ministry of Health and many implementing partners that helped end the 2025 Ebola virus disease outbreak. From day one, the United States brought to this response our most valuable asset, our people. About 75 U.S. Embassy experts, including staff for the United States Centers for Disease Control, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and the Department of Defense worked on the front lines, shoulder to shoulder with Ugandan health professionals to provide technical assistance, training, and emergency response. CDC trained field epidemiologists investigated and quarantined hundreds of contacts, helping to stop the transmission. Additionally, the United States invested nearly $8 million, more than 29 billion Ugandan shillings, to support the government of Uganda-led response. Through this investment, we worked alongside with Uganda to protect lives, strengthen public health systems, and stop this virus from spreading across borders, making not only the United States and Uganda, but the entire world safer. We supported a wide range of activities, including surveillance and contact tracing, safe and dignified burials, diagnostics, case management, infection prevention and control, laboratory testing, and care for survivors. With strong leadership of Uganda's Ministry of Health and in coordination with other partners, our collective efforts have helped bring this outbreak to an end. This partnership matters deeply, not only for Uganda, but also for the American people. We know that the outbreaks like Ebola, if left unchecked, can threaten global stability and public health. By acting early and supporting capable partners like Uganda, we are helping to make America and the world safer from the spread of dangerous infectious diseases. We are also strengthening systems that can contribute to long-term economic stability and regional security, which serve everyone's shared interests. We likewise have leaned on state-of-the-art American innovation through the United States Department of Health and Human Services donation of therapeutics like MVP 134 monoclonal antibodies, offering hope to critically ill patients and contributing to scientific advancement. And I am pleased to announce today, as obviously the work continues, has been said by the Honorable Minister and many others, there is continued work to be done in surveillance. And so I am pleased to announce that the Department of Health and Human Services of the United States of America will be continuing to support this ongoing surveillance and prevention of future outbreaks with the donation of 500 rapid detection test kits arriving in the coming days. Additionally, through previous U.S. cooperation, PCR detection expertise has been well established in Uganda's laboratories to ensure quick response, cutting detection time from weeks to days to hours. And it is in this outbreak that our continued partnership has spurred not only laboratory advances, but also similar advances in serology to improve our collective understanding of the outbreak and to better identify individuals who would benefit from survivor care. Beyond science and health cooperation, the United States-supported partners have engaged directly with Ugandan communities on public information campaigns in local languages reaching more than 8 million people. We also have helped deploy trained volunteers with faith leaders to build trust and understanding. These efforts have ensured that a response that was not only medically sound, but was also community-driven and culturally respectful. The United States is proud of all this investment of resources, expertise, and trust that has helped in this outbreak save lives and make both of our countries better prepared for future health threats. In conclusion, as we mark this very important and hard-fought end of an outbreak of Ebola, we recognize that all individuals who work tirelessly and courageously to reach this point, from top leadership of the Ministry of Health to the doctors, the nurses, the disease detectives, lab technicians, communicators, drivers, cleaners, and others, including my expert colleagues in the health sector from the United States Embassy, Americans and Ugandans alike. I want to thank and appreciate all of them for responding with alacrity and professionalism and courage as well. Building on the success of this outbreak response, I know that our continued cooperation together will make for a healthier, safer, and more prosperous future for Ugandans, Americans, and the world. Thank you and congratulations.
The response plan that was costed at $55 million to control the outbreak. That does not include the health workers and the infrastructure that is already on the ground. What do I mean by this? I want you to understand that with every outbreak, we insist on making sure that we don't remain the same. So we continue to build systems so that subsequent outbreaks are cost a little less to manage. So this particular one was $55 million. We did not mobilize all the resources. We still have obligations that have not been settled. So I just want to encourage those whom we have not yet settled obligations to be patient. The government and partners will do the needful. Allow me in a special way to appreciate those who traveled from far. Many of you may be seeing happy faces here. We are happy because we are declaring an end to the current outbreak. But my brother, Dr. Chikwe, who is the acting representative from Afro, traveled in this morning. Dr. Chikwe, we are very grateful, all the way from Brazzaville. Another very dear friend who also traveled from Brazzaville is Dr. Abdul Salam, also all the way from Brazzaville. So this shows you the importance that we attach to ensuring that the population, or better still, there is global health security. Allow me also to appreciate all of you who traveled from Kampala this morning, including His Excellency the Ambassador. Thank you very much for coming. I bring you greetings from the Permanent Secretary. She's not here. I know many of you have noticed she's not here. but all the statements that have been made here by the DG and others have been made on her behalf. She sends regards. She had to take a short leave to rest, but she's here with us, and she commits to ensure that all our obligations are attended to. Again, let me stress that with each outbreak that comes, we as the population have to ensure that we adhere to the President's message. And this message will also help us to adhere to the international health regulations. Because during outbreaks, tourism, trade, and travel must continue. And again, we want to reassure our tourists, Uganda is safe, and Uganda remains the most beautiful country in the world. Please come and visit the Pearl of Africa. And for the rest of you, our traders, feel free to trade. Those who want to travel, please feel free to travel. And in a very special way, allow me to appreciate the Fourth Estate, the media. You have done us proud in disseminating information in real time and also giving the population clear and correct information. Please let us try our best not to twist anything the other way. Let us say it clearly, as has been said here and is said every day. I want to thank the DG who during the outbreak continued to release short briefs for the people to be updated. In conclusion, allow me once again to appreciate His Excellency the President for the opportunity to give these remarks to you, and for being the Sabalwani, the one who directs us on how to handle the outbreaks and ensure that it is ended in real time. Like he said in his statement, we would have done it earlier. The 2022 outbreak was controlled in 67 days. This one continued to 87 days. This message to you, the population, is listen, and adhere to what the health workers are telling you to do. And the health workers include community health workers and the village health teams, to whom I want to request you to give a round of appreciation. The community health workers and the village health teams. So our declaration has come to an end, and it is now time for press interview. Thank you, and may God bless you as you return home. We wish you all a very safe journey. Let us have closing prayers and the national anthem, and then a few of us will remain here with the press. isolation centers and the outbreak comes to an end, we convert them into training centers. But I also want to let you know that apart from Ebola, we continue to manage other outbreaks. Sometimes you people think measles is not an outbreak, so you ignore measles, you only want to report on Ebola. But all those are outbreaks. So the isolation facility in Mulago converts into a training center. Of course, there is wear and tear due to weather, and you cannot avoid that. But when it gets worse, then we refurbish it. On the issue of health worker motivation, allow me to state here very clearly that health workers are our most important resource in any outbreak. And the health workers range from the professional health workers up to the village health teams. And it is our priority to ensure that they are well motivated. Sometimes there are bureaucracies that delay some of their allowances, but even then the allowances are always paid up to date. So if there is any complaint, we shall always handle. How do we ensure that Uganda remains Ebola free? Let me be very clear that this is not the last Ebola outbreak. And there is no way that we are going to say Uganda will remain Ebola free forever. The population keeps on growing. We keep on moving into territories that were previously not for human beings. Even then, the animals that carry the virus also move into territories where we are. We have carried out studies. Our scientists and UVRI carried out ecological studies, and we have mapped the high-risk areas where they found the bats, the monkeys, and other animals that carry the virus. So we know where they are. But you cannot get rid of wildlife because we live in an ecological system. So what should be done is for us to remain vigilant and put in place systems that can quickly detect and bring an outbreak to an end. In other words, Ebola is endemic in our country and many other viruses. So to ensure that we quickly detect, Uganda with her partners have been building the systems. Strong laboratory systems, building capacity of human resource in the different pillars that were highlighted earlier that you all listened to, but also ensuring that our communities are empowered with information on how these outbreaks present, so that once they notice any unusual event in the communities, they report in a timely manner, because time is of the essence. So in between outbreaks, and when I say in between, meaning when this one we are facing it off, the other one that comes, in between outbreaks, we continue to maintain a surveillance system. It never stops. In between outbreaks, risk communication continues. It never stops. In between outbreaks, we have sentinel sites that continue surveillance. And the surveillance is not only for Ebola. We carry out surveillance for influenza, for yellow fever, for measles, for polio, and many other things with guidance from WHO. So that is all part of being prepared, so that when an outbreak comes, we control it in real time. The faster we control an outbreak, the cheaper it is. When we leave it to blow out of proportion, it becomes too expensive in terms of funding, but more so in terms of human life. We have been working on laws together with WHO, and perhaps they will talk to that later, but specifically here in Uganda, we have the Public Health Act that we adhere to, the international health regulations that we must adhere to, but also in the Public Health Act we have the aspect of immunization that is well captured there, and that is why we have prepared ourselves to continue with the Tokomeza vaccine trial. That is one of the important tools for prevention of Sudan Ebola virus, which research must be concluded to provide information. So allow me to stop here.